Guys, so welcome to part 2 of my bookshelf reorganization. Right now my sister and I just finished putting the bookshelf into my room and it looks so good. I'm so excited to get started with today's video. So let's just go ahead and start with putting all the books onto the bookshelf. Okay guys, so it has been a couple of days later since I last updated the vlog. This is part 2 of my bookshelf reorganization video, so if you haven't checked out part 1, make sure you go ahead and check that out. But this is the final reveal of my bookshelf, and it just came out so beautiful. I'm so excited to show you guys how it came out, and I'm gonna talk a little bit on how I decorated everything. My books are not organized in a specific color or genre or author or alphabetical, anything like that. I just put them how I felt, what felt right to me, if that makes any sense. I just put them as they went, and when I was reorganizing my books, I just put them how I saw fit, how I wanted them specifically. So this is how they turned out. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and get into this video because I want to give you guys a brief tour on how everything turned out, and I'm just so excited. So let's just go ahead and get into the video. So we'll go ahead and start at the very top of my bookshelves. Again, I do not organize my books in any particular order. I just put them how I saw fit. But at the very top, I mainly wanted to have my historical fiction books up here. So I have a lot of World War I and World War II books up here. And just some knickknacks that I really wanted to have on the very top in the beginning of my shelf. So that's how it came out. But we'll start from this side. So as you can see, I have some books that are mainly historical fiction, and then I have my Belle Funko Pop. I have that Paris book that opens up and you can store stuff inside. It's really cool. And then I have some more historical fiction. And then over here, I just have my Tombstone Funko Pops. And then I have my little DIY library that I still have to finish, but either way, I thought it looked really cute up there. And then over here, I put my Wonder Woman comic book with my Wonder Woman Funko Pops. I think it looks really, really good. I was really happy I got to put them together, and I just think it looks really cool. And then I have some more historical fiction up here. So yeah, mainly the top shelf is going to be my historical fiction books, but you will see some are kind of spread out throughout the bookshelves because I don't have much space, so I have to make do with what I have. But yeah, that is the very top of my bookshelves. So even though the whole bookshelf is my favorite, I don't have a specific area that I favor more than others, but I did want a shelf where I would put like my absolute favorite books of all times or my favorite series. So lo and behold, we have my Shatter Me. That is the first set of books that I have on this shelf, which is the second part of the bookshelf right here. But yeah, I wanted the second shelf to mainly focus on my favorite books of all time, books that had really pretty sprayed edges, so that way when I'm filming in front of the bookshelf, because I do plan to do a lot of filming, so you will see this bookshelf appear in mainly all of my videos, if not most of my videos now. But I really like the setup. So long story short, I just wanted this shelf to be the focal point in my videos. So first and foremost, I have to put my Shatter Me series first, because obviously if you're new to my channel, or in case you don't know, the Shatter Me series is my favorite series of all times, and these are my Fairy Loot editions, and they are beautiful. They are autographed and signed. Then I have my sprayed edges. I just have a whole thing going on, so they had to be on here. This is just my most prized possession. So yeah, this is my Shatter Me collection. It comes up to right here, and then I have my Throne of Glass series. Obviously, this is my favorite series as well, but I do feel, I'm so sorry, but I do feel Shatter Me is a little bit better than the Throne of Glass. But anyway, I digress. So this is what I have here. Oh, I didn't even say. So I have my little hand here, my ceramic hand, and then I have my XOXO, and then I have another ceramic hand right there. I just thought it went with the whole aesthetics. And then here, this lamp, or this what do you call it, like the crystals, it's like a crystal rock and it has a light in it, and I just ran it through behind the shelves and I plugged it up, and it has a really nice little switch, so you just easily click it on and off. And I just think it looks so beautiful on this shelf. It just fits the whole dystopian vibe, and I just absolutely love it. And I finally got to showcase it, and it just looks so beautiful. I love the warm glow it sets off on the shelf. So yeah, this is shelf number 2, and I will say this is my favorite, even though I love everything about this shelf, but this is like my focal point for me. And then over here I have this cute little dragon my mom bought for me. She actually bought me this little guy too. Then my Funko Pop right here. This I got from Dollar Tree. And then I have this really beautiful rose that William made for me. He actually custom makes roses, so I seen it and I was like, can you actually make me one for my bookshelves? And he was like, of course. So that's from him, which is really cool. And then I have my amethyst crystal stone here. I think it's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. It does help. I don't know if it's just me overthinking it, but it does help me sleep better. I don't know if that's just me, but I have to have this in my room. And then I have my cute little fireplace that I got from Dollar Tree. This has to be on. It just has to be on at all times on my bookshelves because it is just so beautiful. I just love it. It completely set everything off. And then here I just have a little bit of fantasy going on. So I would say like this shelf is mainly like fantasy and dystopian, but it is my favorite. So you'll definitely see this shelf appear a lot in my vlog from now on. Moving on to the third shelf, this is going to be a continuation of my fantasy and dystopian books, and then I have a little bit of contemporary books sprinkled in here, but this is how the overall shelf turned out, and I think it is absolutely adorable. I just love it so much. I'm probably going to say that about every single one of these shelves, but I just love the way it turned out. I think it came out really pretty, and I will say I do like to face books that have a beautiful cover or a beautiful illustration. I do like to have that cover facing out so that way I can see it, and it is just so beautiful. And then I just love my deers that I have. It's just so beautiful. But we'll go ahead and start from the left side of the shelf. So here I have Clocksworth displayed, and I'm so happy I finally have a big enough bookshelf to display him because he is just beautiful to look at. He just brings me so much joy. He makes me so happy. I did pick him up at Disneyland when I went with my older brother, but he is just beautiful. I absolutely love him. So then I have my fantasy books next to him. And then of course I have to display my Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, my favorite book of all time. That's one of my favorites of the year so far, so I had to display it by itself. I do have on the second part of the shelf, I do have my 2 Hunger Games books, and obviously this book is part of that series, but I just wanted it displayed by itself so I can see it as a standalone, if that makes any sense. But I just love this cover and I love the book, so I just wanted it displayed by itself. And then I have this really cute nightlight. I've had this nightlight for years and years and years, but it just didn't look right on my other shelves. I didn't have enough room for it. It was just really squashed and it just, you couldn't see it. So now that it's here, it just brings me so much comfort and joy when I see it. I just love it. It just ties everything together. And then here, as you can see, I do have some historical fiction and some westerns here, but it's because, again, I'm limited with shelf space, so I just put them as I saw fit. But yeah, so it's kind of random. There is some random books sprinkled throughout, but that is totally fine. It's my bookshelf, so yeah, that's how I like them. But then I have my cute little sleepy fox. He's just so beautiful on bookshelves. He's just so beautiful. I just feel he kind of sits perfectly in here, and I just love foxes. It's one of my favorite animals, and I just love collecting foxes. I don't know why, but anyway, he sits here and he's nice and happy there, tucked away on the bookshelf. And then I have another fox right here. I found this at Dollar Tree. And then of course here's a beautiful illustration of Friends with a Monster. It is a beautiful story. I highly recommend it, and I obviously love this book so much, so that's why I have it flipped forward so that way you can see the cover. And I just think it is so pretty with my foxes. It just all ties together. It's kind of like an animal theme going on here, but yeah, I love it. And then here I have more fantasy. I do have a romance book right there, but that's totally fine. That's just how my books are. Kind of random, but that's me. So anyway, and then here's the beautiful cover for What Beauty There Is. I love this book so much, so that's why I have it facing forward so that way I can always see the beautiful cover. And then I have my deers here. I have my turtle plushie that I made, my sea turtle. He's like the first sea turtle I ever made, so it is mine and I love him. I still think he's adorable, so I just have him here. And then I have Lumineer. I bought him at Disneyland as well, and I'm just so happy I finally got to display them on my bookshelves because they just suit the whole vibe, and it just really sets off my shelves. I love that at night it looks so beautiful when I turn him on, and it's just so beautiful. And then I have my Harry Potter pop-up book right here. So yeah, this is the third part of the shelves. I do have contemporary kind of finishing off the shelf. So yeah, you just have a little bit of contemporary here, a little bit of historical fiction, romance. I just have everything kind of randomly placed, but either way, still beautiful books. And I just love the way this shelf came out as well. So yeah, that is shelf number 3. And here is shelf number 4. This is basically a little bit of everything. I don't have that much space to completely organize my books in any particular order, so I just put them how they fit, but I still think it looks really, really nice. So here I just put this beautiful cover of the Villains short story collections, and I think it looks really cool, and I just love this cover facing out. I usually do that. So now you can see it in the front. And then over here I do have my Harry Potter pop-up book, but right now that's where it sits. I would like to pop it open and have it displayed, but I do not have the space for it. So right now it sits here and it's totally fine. I could work with that. And then I just have some more historical fiction. This book I highly recommend, When Will the Heaven Begin? I've read this book maybe no less than 20 times. It is so beautiful. Highly recommend this book. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. And then here I have this cup that William gave to me. It's actually like a pirate cup, and then I just put my Pirates of the Caribbean coins. I picked these up on Temu, I believe. Yes, Temu. I ordered these on Temu, and they're just these little Pirates of the Caribbean plastic coins, and I just think it really sets off the vibe. I really like that look, so I just have them in there. And then I have my Harry Potter ornaments, and then I have my dark arts mask. I think it looks so cool. And yeah, then I just have some random books. I did put this Harry Potter book, the unofficial Harry Potter spell book. I do have that facing forward because I just love the red on this cover, and it just sets off the really nice vibe on this shelf. So yeah, that is shelf number 4. And then the very bottom of the shelf, these are kind of the books that I've either read already or the books that I don't want to get to at this very moment. So I just have a little bit of random books displayed down at the bottom. Not really going to go into too much detail, but I do have my little ceramic book of bookmarkers. I have Narnia right here. I have this beautiful stone. I have this nice white herb, OK Corral little post-it card that William brought for me when he went on a trip, and he brought it to me, so it's really cool. I love white herbs, so I have to have that displayed. Then I just have this little DIY project that I made, and then I have this cup that's just my drawing pencils. I just keep them there. And then a little napkin holder. It looks like a little station wagon. I always thought it was very cute. And I just have some books in there. So yeah, it's just like a little catch-all type of shelf. Books that I've either read already or I'm going to get to, but just not at this very moment. So those are all at the bottom. I still love them either way, but yeah, it's just a little catch-all type of shelf. But yes, this is the overall bookshelf look, and I'll back up so that way you guys can see it from a far view. So that is my overall look of how the bookshelf turned out. I think it came out so beautiful. I just love walking into my room, and this is the first thing you see when you come into my room. I'm just obsessed with it. I love it. I never want to leave my room now. It is just so beautiful. It's so inspiring. It makes me want to read every single book on this shelf. But yeah, that is how it turned out. I think it turned out really, really pretty. I'm just obsessed with it. Once again, I just can't stop looking at it. It is just beautiful, and I will have this shelf for years and years and years to come. It is not going anywhere. It is beautiful. I'm just obsessed. It just makes me want to read everything. Oh my god, I'm just so happy. But I'll quickly show you guys how I fixed up my Funko Pops in case any of you were interested, and then I'll show you how I fixed up my paperbacks. So this is the shelf that kind of just sits next to my bed, and I decided to put my Funko Pops here, and I think it looks really, really pretty. So this is my whole setup. They're in this cute little circus box, if you will. I'm not sure what to call it, or a display. I got this at a yard sale, but it is real wood and it is super heavy, so it holds my Funko Pops beautifully, and it just looks like they're putting on a little show. I just love it. So this is how I displayed all of my Pops, and I think they look really cute and adorable. They're just so happy to be together. I love them so much. And then at the very top, I do have my purple shelf that was once on my desk. I moved that here so I could display more of my decorations, and that way everything's more higher. It doesn't look like they're cramped and all squished together. So I just put some Funko Pops up here. This will change eventually. I do want to switch some things up from time to time because I just naturally do that. But yeah, so far this is how it looks, and I'm still in love with it. I think it looks really pretty. I did actually take this out of the box. I did buy this boxed, and it was from Facebook Market, but I finally took it out and I think it looks better. It looks so much better taken out of the box. I can see it and I just love it. To me, it looks really good with all my Funko Pops that I have going on here. So once again, this is next to my bed, and I think it looks really cute. And I just love looking at them. And then with my fairy lights peeking through, it just looks like they're performing. So I just think it looks really cute. I really love it. I'm really obsessed with it. But anyway, moving on down here, I do have the deal because this is the book I'm currently reading, and this is more for like me. So when I'm laying down and I want to journal or update my planner, everything's here. I have some lotion, chapstick, nothing really exciting except for my beautiful book right here. And then here's how I put all of my paperbacks. They're just double stacked in the shelf, in this cube shelf. So that's how they fit, and I'm okay with it because I put the books that I absolutely love in the front, and the ones that I want to get to are in the back. To me, that makes sense because I do have my favorites. They just have to be facing forward, and since I'm working with limited space, this is how I decided to organize it. And it works for me. I could always pull out the books that I'm really curious about reading. I could always pull them out and switch them out. So to me, it's not a huge deal. I do have at the very bottom just like some crafting stuff and like my plugs for my charger and all that. So it's not very aesthetically pleasing to look at. But overall, this is how it looks. And I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And then obviously over here, when you walk this way, here are my bookshelves. So yeah, this is how my Funko Pops look. By the way, before I close out the vlog, I did finish crocheting my strawberry sea turtle, so let me go ahead and grab her so that way I can show you guys. And here she is, you guys. Here is my strawberry sea turtle. I was originally going to make a strawberry land turtle, but I went ahead and made a sea turtle instead. I was just in the mood for it. This pattern was created by Crochet by Jenna, so I will leave the video down below so that way you guys can check it out in case any of you were interested. But yeah, this is how my strawberry sea turtle came out, and I'm just so obsessed with her. She's so beautiful and bright and vibrant. I just love it so much. She's just so adorable, and I'm just so happy to have her. But yeah, this is how my strawberry sea turtle came out. And that is it, you guys. This is actually part 2 of my bookshelf reorganization video, so if you haven't checked out part 1, please go ahead and do so. But this is how the overall shelves turned out, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. It is just so beautiful and so inspiring, and I'm just completely obsessed with my setup. Everything is just so beautiful. Sometimes I literally just come in my room and stare at my bookshelves because I'm like, I just can't believe this is in my room. I really can't believe this is in my room right now. So yeah, I'm just so happy with the way everything turned out. It is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and I just can't get enough of it. But anyway, you guys, that is all I have for today's video. But thank you so much for joining me once again, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Bye.